हेलो एंड वेलकम टू माय मेंटोर। आई होप कि आप लोग सब ठीक हैं एंड यू आर लर्निंग समथिंग न्यू एवरी डे। सो गाइस, आज का जो टॉपिक है दैट इज आल्सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज दिस टॉपिक इज रिलेटेड टू आवर डे टू डे लाइफ। दिस टॉपिक इज अबाउट रिमेंबरिंग नेम्स। जी हाँ, रिमेंबरिंग नेम्स साउंड्स कॉमन, राइट? Sounds usual, but it's very important. It's about remembering names of the people whom you meet on daily basis in your personal and professional life. And why it's very important to remember names of the people whom you meet on daily basis, how it affects your personality, how it affects your communication, and how it affects your relationships, both in your personal and professional life. Because a person's name is his identity. Remembering someone's name is very important because it gives them importance and recognition. And it's very important for long-lasting relationships. Remembering someone's name is a great way to make them feel important and recognized. And it helps you to build a long-lasting connection with them. There is nothing more pleasing to a person than hearing his own name, or by being remembered by others. You will automatically feel positive toward a person who called you by your name. Imagine how would you feel if somebody or someone or your friend whom you know from a very long time, did not remember your name. Or how embarrassed would you feel if somebody or your friend remembers your name but you could not remember theirs. Though in extreme cases when people have so much problem to recall names and words, are normally suffer with a type of aphasia disorder that is called anomic aphasia, which is definitely for the extreme cases. But in day-to-day life, when people forget names, that can be improved with strategies, with practice, which I'm going to share with you. So before discussing remembering names, strategies and techniques, let me tell you why it's important and how it's helpful to remember names. Number one is that it helps you to build a lasting and good relationship with people, especially in your professional life where you meet so many people on daily basis, your clients, your customers, your leads, your colleagues, etc. So imagine how helpful it is to remember names. Number two is that it helps people to feel comfortable around you. Number three is that people think that they have sort of connection with you. Number four is that people feel important when you remember their names. Number five is people feel valued when you remember their names while talking to them. Number six is that people feel that they made sort of impression on you. That's why you remember their names. So people feel happy when you call them by their names. And last but not the least is that people appreciate it when you call them by their names when you first greet them. Now it's time to discuss strategies to remember names. Number one is pay attention. Yes, when somebody is being introduced to you or somebody tells their name, pay attention to the name at very beginning. Don't get distracted by all the social niceties like handshaking, cheek kissing, hugging, etc. Because if you miss the name, you won't be able to remember it. So paying attention is very important. Number two, ask again. Yes, if you miss the name or if you are unable to pronounce the name, ask the person to repeat it for you. If you find it unusual, ask the person to pronounce it for you and repeat and pronounce after that person. Don't get hesitated. There is no harm to ask the person to repeat it for you. In fact, people feel more positive towards you that you are taking interest to them. Number three, spell. Yes, if you still didn't get the name properly, ask the person to spell it for you in cases when the name is very unusual or foreign name. Number four is unique name. If it's a unique name or you have never heard before, try to compliment that person about the name. It will help you to remember this name for the longer period of time. On the other hand, people feel flattered when somebody makes fuss over their name. So in this way, you will be able to build a long-term relationship with that person as well. Number 5, repeat the name at appropriate places. Yes, while talking to that person, try to repeat the name as often as possible in your conversation. Try to use the name in your conversation on appropriate places. This way, you will be able to remember the name for a longer period of time. And avoid unnecessary repetition of the name. It might get weird. But use on appropriate places when it is required, when it's applicable. Number 6 is ask for the meaning. Yes, as again, if you find any name unusual or you are unable to pronounce it, ask about the meaning. This is also a good way to remember the name for a longer period of time. And you can make the other person comfortable as well, because as I said that, people feel flattered when somebody makes fuss over their names. Number 7, use the name when saying goodbye. Yes, try to use the name when saying goodbye to that person after conversation. This is a good way to remember the name and making a good impression on the person. Number 8, interest. Yes, interest. Take a genuine interest when you meet people in your surroundings. Try to be as genuine as possible. Have a genuine smile on your face. In this way, you will be able to make a good impression. And by following all these strategies, you can remember name for the longer period of time as well. So it's very important to leave a good impression. So being genuine is very important in your conversation. And last but not the least is ask for a business card. Yes, it sounds cliche and very common, but it's a very important, because business card is a tangible thing. So it helps you to recall all the meeting, all the conversation with that person. And on the other hand, it helps you to remember the name. Apply these strategies and you will be able to remember names for a longer period of time. So thank you for watching and best of luck, and keep learning.